We shall not balance the property among them. One. We shall get you the screen projector. Football. Wamonko. Thank you very much.
Yes,
I'm happy and humbled to be here at CPU in our days. This was University of Zambia, Donor Campus, Uzando. That is it. Best university in Zambia.
That was the Science and Technology Minister, Felix Mtati, there at the Copperbelt University, where he donated television set to the students, and also just did get to have time to watch one of the matches that are ongoing at the World Cup alongside Hy-Vee Hamududu. And now this is just something that we're going to be getting to look at, plus other issues as well. It's a lovely good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the Royal Breakfast Show. On a Thursday like this one, we are live on DSTV channel 277, GoTV channel 23, and on Topstar, we are on channel 89. We are also getting to come to you live via our Facebook page. It is CrownTVZambia. If you haven't yet followed the page, do sure to do so. Obviously, there's so much that we're going to be looking at as well today. Remember that yesterday in the news, one of the biggest stories was that the Constitutional Court did get to clear Fred M'membe as well as his running mate Dolika Banda. We'll be getting into that particular story. Government did issue its position over the alleged banning of certain musicians from getting to attend government events, in terms of performances, plus other issues as well that we have on the table for discussion today. This is the Thursday Royal Breakfast Show, and my name is Mike Sakala.
And just building on from what Mr. Mike Sakala had mentioned with regards to the clip that you're just from viewing, of course, the Science and Technology Minister in Mr. Felix Mtati was actually watching the Senegalese match as they were taking on France the other day. And what better way to do that than donating to those same students? And the reason why I'm actually cladded in a Portuguese shirt is because Portugal was playing last night against the Congolese, and it was a thrilling encounter. If you did manage to watch the match, it ended up being 1-1. Of course, we will be delving into that a little bit more in detail in just a little bit. But apart from what we're going to be looking at with regards to what Mike had mentioned, it is the campaign period, and so a lot of tensions and emotions are high right now, which is why the Zambia police have reportedly issued warnings and conducted arrests following the incidents of unruly political party cadre behavior that was happening in Kasama in Northern Province. And the law enforcement as well as the government leaders have also cautioned that thuggish behavior and violence will not be tolerated, and they've warned that the perpetrators will face the law independently. Like what the president keeps on saying, you are on your own. My name, of course, is Ndashi Mataka.
Yes, indeed. Just like Dash has rightly put it, those are issues that we do have getting to take place right here, and we'll be discussing them further. Remember that this show allows you to come through and be a part of it by getting to write to us on the number 0979-958392. Later on, as we get to open the phone lines, you'll be able to call in, and we'll be getting to have a discussion together and just get to find out what's on your mind today with regards to the topics that we are discussing, as well as you can go to our Facebook and leave us a comment on this particular live broadcast. For now, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we do have the daybreak news, obviously. So stick around. Do not touch the dial.
On a busy day in Lusaka, right in the middle of a vlogging, Mr. Simon Mwelo's phone battery died. Well, he knew what to do next. He called Zambia's top cell phone and accessories dealer. In a flash, problem solved. Across town, Dr. Sia Twambo was getting ready for a presentation when he realized that his PA forgot something. A quick call to Mobile City, and his projector screen was delivered in no time. Meanwhile, Vana Fiasasa was about to leave for the village when she remembered she needed a phone upgrade. One call to Mobile City and a new phone arrived just in time. Vana Fiasasa snapping a selfie before hitting the road? But wait, I thought the other guys were in a hurry. For free, fast and reliable delivery, trust Mobile City. Beware of scammers. Mobile City Delivery. You order, we deliver.
The daybreak news on Crown Television. We begin with our first story. The Constitutional Court has ruled that opposition Socialist Party presidential candidate Dr. Fred M'membe and his running mate Dolika Banda are eligible to contest in the August 13th elections. The court's decision confirms that both candidates meet the constitutional requirements to participate in the upcoming polls. Here's a report.
The Constitutional Court has dismissed the petition challenging the eligibility of Socialist Party presidential candidate Dr. Fred M'membe and his running mate Dolika Banda to contest the 2026 general elections. In its ruling, the court confirms that both candidates meet the constitutional requirements to participate in the upcoming polls, effectively clearing them to remain on the ballot. The case was brought before the court by governance activist Isaac Mwanza, who had sought a declaration that Mrs. Banda does not possess a grade 12 certificate or its equivalent, as required under Articles 101E, 110(2), and 266 of the Constitution. Mr. Mwanza further argued that Mrs. Banda's nomination for the August 13, 2026 general elections should be declared invalid. He also contended that because the presidential ticket is joint and inseparable under Articles 110 of the Constitution, Dr. M'membe's nomination should also be nullified. In addition, the petitioner sought a court order under Article 52(6)(b) to disqualify both Dr. M'membe and Mrs. Banda from participating in the presidential race scheduled for August 13, 2026. The petition further questions the academic qualifications of Mrs. Banda, arguing that her Cambridge OCR General Certificate of Secondary Education obtained in 1978 is not equivalent to a grade 12 certificate. Mr. Mwanza named the Electoral Commission of Zambia as the third respondent, while the Attorney General was cited as the fourth respondent in the matter. A 7-member panel of Constitutional Court judges delivered the ruling on June 17, 2026, following the conclusion of submissions from all parties involved. The judgment, which was highly anticipated, has brought clarity to the legal requirements governing presidential candidates and their running mates ahead of the polls. Dr. M'membe and Mrs. Banda were represented by lawyers Leon Lemba and Meluli Malisa Batakati. Shortly before leaving the court premises, Dr. Fred M'membe spoke to the media, acknowledging the court's judgment, stating that they have done their job, not considering the fact that the judgment is in their favor, but it is a reasonable one.
I was wondering when they said they will come back to give the judgment in 1 hour. I was wondering what type of judgment it was going to be, but they have done their work. Yes. I haven't digested it fully, but from what I heard, it was a reasonable judgment. Not because it's favorable to me, but they have reasoned. It's reasoned. Even if it was not going to be favorable to us, but at least they have tried to reason. Give credit where it's due. Yes, right. And not because it's favorable to you, no. It was a good judgment.
Meanwhile, Dolika Banda says that if the judgment had gone the other way around, it would have not been a loss for them, but for the Zambian people. She adds that this was her first time attending court proceedings, and from what she observed, the judiciary had done its part in delivering a fair judgment.
I feel today is a new beginning, not just for us, I think it's a new beginning for us as a people. I want to thank the way the judiciary worked today. We are continuously criticizing. And again, I don't want to say it, as President had said, because the ruling has been in our favor. I want to say it because of the professionalism that I saw in that room today. It is my first time in court. I've never been in court.
Kundej, Sachingalasu, Ngandu, reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka.
In other news this morning, government has dismissed claims that some local musicians have been banned from performing at state functions, describing the allegations as false and misleading. Addressing the media, Minister of Youth, Sports and Arts Permanent Secretary ConCourt Chileshe says government has not issued any directive, verbally or in writing, restricting any artist from participating in official events. Mr. Chileshe says official communication regarding artists follows established channels through the ministry, the National Arts Council of Zambia, and relevant associations, adding that no such communication on banning artists has been made. Details in the following report.
It is not government's position, as far as arts are concerned, that we've banned any artist from performing at state functions. That's not true.
Zambia is currently witnessing campaigns from various political parties contesting in the forthcoming general election. And at the core of these campaigns are campaign songs released by various local artists, some in support of the government, while others have taken a different political position. It is because of this development that allegations have emerged suggesting that some local artists, such as Richie Busy, have been banned from performing at government functions due to their political affiliations. But government has dismissed these claims. Addressing the media, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Arts Permanent Secretary ConCourt Chileshe says no directive has been issued to stop any artist from participating in state functions and maintain that government remains open to engaging all artists.
The musicians in question have performed at functions for this ministry. I think you know very well that we had a launch of the Kaputa Stadium, and it's in public domain that they were the headlining artists. Chester, Rich Busy, Mozegeta, and many others were our headlining artists. It's a known fact that Chester performed at the Quimbo Music Festival under the Ministry of Arts. It's a known fact that Chester, Rich Busy, Mozegeta, and others performed at the launch of the Monze football stadium. And this was just about a month ago.
Mr. Shresh, however, says artists should understand that individual organizers may take independent choices when selecting performers, which should not be mistaken for government policy.
We have not segregated, discriminated, ostracized any artist for whatever form of fashion, whether it's political, whether it's spiritual, whether it's whatever we want to call it. We haven't done it. We haven't banned anyone. Okay, that's one position.
Meanwhile, Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana has urged members of the public to be cautious of misinformation and disinformation during the campaign period.
There will be a lot of misinformation and a lot of disinformation. Now, the difference is that the one that misinforms does so without knowing, but believing that the information they are giving out or spreading is true. But when it is not true, they are misinforming the public. But the one that disinforms knows from the word go, and the intention is to mislead the public. The intention is to cause harm. The intention is to raise alarm. And you will see a lot of such postings, especially on social media, from our colleagues on the other side.
Reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka, Chanda Mwango.
Now, instead of starring in a love story, 23-year-old Lumbiwe Njovu says she unknowingly found herself living in what she describes as a real-life version of the polygamist. The mother of three says she was left speechless after discovering that her husband, 39-year-old Kennedy Jere, had secretly married three other women, making her wife number 4. Nkundej has the rest of the details.
Just like the most talked about Netflix movie known as The Polygamist, in Mtendere area lies a similar man with similar traits whose name is not Jonasi but Kennedy Jere. Kennedy chose a path far different from the biblical teaching that says a man shall leave his father and mother, be united to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. Instead, he linked himself to multiple women, slowly abandoning what the scripture requires of him. He did not settle for one or two wives. According to testimony heard in court, Kennedy ended up marrying 6 women. One of his wives, Lumbiwe Njovu, appeared before Magistrate Charity Milambo and told the court that Kennedy had promised her heaven and earth, including buying her a farm, but none of those promises were ever fulfilled. Lumbiwe says she agreed to marry Kennedy even after being informed that she would become his 4th wife. However, upon moving in with him, she was shocked to discover that there were already 6 women in the marriage, making her the 7th wife. She calmly told the court that the situation had become too much for her to handle and that she could no longer continue living with Kennedy. According to Lumbiwe, one of the most shocking discoveries she made was finding a bag full of ARVs medication belonging to one of her co-wives. She repeatedly told courts that she would never make such a mistake again, not even in her next life. Lumbiwe further testified that Kennedy once went to her mother's home demanding that the bride price be refunded, which was eventually paid back. However, every story has 2 sides. When Kennedy appeared in court, many wondered why he had dirt on his head and was wearing what appeared to be a white hoodie that had turned brown. He later explained that he works as both a miner and a farmer. In his defense, Kennedy did not dispute most of his wife's claims, but instead, he informed the court that he had previously issued her with a summons and that the matter was already before another court in Kabwe. He also presented documents to support his statement. After hearing both sides, Magistrate Milambo ordered that the matter be concluded in the court where it was initially filed before any further proceedings could continue. Kundej Sachingalesu Ngandu, reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka.
A real-life polygamist over there. The Independent Churches of Zambia, ICOZ, has urged the current crop of politicians to draw lessons in humility, patriotism, and selfless leadership from the life of Zambia's second Republican president, Dr. Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba. As the nation commemorates the 15th anniversary of Dr. Chiluba's death, ICOD's Executive Director, Bishop David Masupa, says the late former head of state remains a shining example of a leader who consistently placed the interests of Zambia above personal ambition. Bishop Masupa says politicians should use the occasion to reflect on the values that define Dr. Chiluba's leadership, particularly his commitment to national unity, democracy, and service to the people.
Do you realize that tomorrow you could be president in this country? I say, well, yes, so what? He says, yes, what you say today will matter tomorrow.
He is remembered by many as the father of Zambia's democracy, the man who championed the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation and the country's second Republican president, Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba. 15 years after his death on June 18, 2011, Dr. Chiluba's legacy continues to shape the nation's political, economic, democratic, and constitutional identity. Dr. Chiluba was among the leading figures who challenged the one-party state, a struggle that culminated in the formation of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD. Following MMD's victory in Zambia's first multi-party elections in 1991, Dr. Chiluba became the country's second Republican president, ushering in a new era of democratic governance. One of the defining moments of his presidency came in December 1991, when he declared Zambia a Christian nation, a declaration that was later enshrined in the country's constitution and remains one of his most enduring legacies.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, our Lord, I rededicate this nation as a Christian nation. I know we are at war against the devil, but the devil can never win. The devil was defeated on Calvary.
And the Independent Churches of Zambia, ICOZ, has paid tribute to the late former head of state, describing him as a gallant son of the soul who stood for justice and the interests of the Zambian people during a defining period in the country's history. ICOZ President Bishop David Masupa says Dr. Chiluba's decision to declare Zambia a Christian nation continues to shine as a beacon of faith and national identity. Bishop Masupa says the late president also played a pivotal role in introducing democracy at a time when many Zambians had little understanding of multi-party politics. He says today's political leaders have much to learn from Dr. Chiluba's leadership, describing him as a patriotic leader whose loyalty was firmly rooted in serving the nation rather than personal interests.
The man is the father of democracy. The man is also the father of the rule of law, who instigated the democracy and the rule of law to thrive in the nation of our country, Zambia.
Meanwhile, Bishop Masupa has also highlighted Dr. Chiluba's contribution to the liberalization of Zambia's economy, saying the reforms introduced during his administration opened up opportunities for the private sector growth and laid the foundation for the country's modern economic framework. Bishop Masupa says, although opinions on Dr. Chiluba's presidency may differ, history will remember him as one of the country's most influential leaders whose contributions to democracy, economic reforms, and the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation remain an integral part of Zambia's national story.
He also promoted a liberal economic system in Zambia to experience what we are experiencing right now. The markets were open, the price control diminished, and he cancelled it when he became president.
We seek peace, dear God. Yes, the peace that cometh from you, not the peace of the world, but the peace that passeth all understanding.
For Crown TV News, Tawanda Munyoki.
As a Christian nation, I know we are at war against the devil.
In other stories, President Hakainde Hichilema has publicly apologized for what he described as a messy adoption process that characterized the ruling United Party for National Development ahead of this year's elections. Speaking when he addressed a crowd at Choma Sports Club ground last afternoon, President Hichilema said he was aware that many party members were unhappy with irregularities during the process, where in some cases more than one adoption certificate was issued to different candidates. President Hichilema cautioned the electorate against independent candidates, saying they should not be cheated into believing independence can deliver development. He urged voters to give him members of parliament and councillors that he can work with without difficulties. He cited free education as one of the key achievements, noting that the policy has seen 2.5 children getting back to school.
Adoption mumwito yagenda gabotu ndaliregerera ndime president wankama. I apologize for that. Right? Matere late mebona ulija bia hiyubi ndabola ntangalala wagalima adoption mumwi 2 certificates mumwi 3 tajirule mejiria. So I apologize for those messy adoptions, but now that we are here, we need to move together. Materera, bunjaga atubuhiye gunze, atulange election ibola, guli bantu balanse ngwa babagali mu government, twabanyanga guli ama corruption bali nyeme nanse ngwawa. Na muhubale balamu zogola bulero babutola, na muganke guzwangana, Mulayana muhinza walo yigankoba itola. Zambia. So let us work in unity. Let us support the candidates that were adopted. Let us campaign for them for the president so that we can continue to do the things that we have been doing because we love this country. That's why we are doing the things that we're doing.
And now finally in sports, Zambia will make history next month at the Gaelic World Games in Ireland, and this will be the first time the country will be competing in Gaelic football, which is a fast sport mix in football, handball, basketball and rugby. Lusaka club Sable Shamrock will represent Zambia from July 13th to 18th. Our award-winning journalist, Victoria Lenosi, has the details for you.
Zambia will make history this July as it competes in Gaelic World Games for the first time. The tournament is set for 13th to 18th July 2026. Features Gaelic football, a fast-paced game blending elements of football, handball, basketball, and rugby. Representing the nation is Sable Shamrock.
Sable Shamrock received a special invitation to the games. Club manager Padgren Ofanin welcomed the call-up, saying it offers a key benchmark to gauge Zambia's standing in the sport. His main goal is to showcase Zambian talent on the global stage.
Not only are we the only Zambian team participating, we're the only team from the continent of Africa participating. So there's a lot of weight on the shoulders of our young players, but we are certain, absolutely certain, they will perform with distinction and do Zambia and Africa proud. Our target is that, well, like all teams I suppose, our target is that they perform to the best of their ability. Now, if that is good enough to win, great, and if it's not good enough to win, well, you can ask no more of somebody than to do their best performance. They've trained hard, they've worked hard, they're looking forward to the experience. It is getting huge attention in Ireland, huge attention. They arrive in Ireland on July the 8th, and the next morning they meet the President of Ireland at State House for a reception. She is asked to meet this team.
Players Jackson Kuema and Aaron Mukoma have vowed to give their all, pledging to work hard and chase victory to make their coach and country proud.
I feel nice because it's interesting because we'll be traveling. Not only that, we're also participating in the World Games. Firstly, we have to win to come back with the cup because we are presenting not only Zambia but Africa at large. Yes, also to meet the new people that side.
As players, we are telling each other to build up, to be one, so that when we go that side, at least we make our big Bwana feel good, because he has to put in much effort, so we can't take validation.
Zambia's debut at the Gaelic World Games marked a new chapter for the sport in the country. Beyond results, the tournament is a chance to build international exposure, grow the game locally, and inspire more athletes to take up Gaelic football. For Sebos Shamrock, Ireland 2026 is both a challenge and an opportunity to put Zambian sport on a new map. For Crown TV Sports, Lenosi Victoria in Lusaka.
Thanks so much, Lunosi, for that. And that brings us to the end of our Daybreak News. You can also find our other bulletins at 12 o'clock, which is our midday news, and 18:30, we bring you the grand news. We're going to take a short break. When we do return, we continue with the Royal Breakfast Show.
Welcome to the world of football. Rising stars, global icons, your favorite teams, your favorite players, every goal, every save. One stage, same roar. The stage is set for the battle of glory. Watch all 104 World Cup matches live on Azam TV. Azam TV, broadcast licensee, FIFA World Cup 2026. Buy Azam TV decoder at 350 Zambian kwacha and full kit at 589 Zambian kwacha and 2-month subscription. For more details, call 971-246-222, 763-664-455. WhatsApp 775-000-013. Azam TV, entertainment for everybody.
Are you passionate about making a positive impact on communities? Do you dream of a career that combines psychology, social justice, and community empowerment?
Enroll in our June 2026 intake for the Diploma in Child and Adolescent Mental Health, community-based work with children and youth.
Dive into a transformative journey of learning and advocacy.
Immerse yourself in courses that explore human development, social policy, and diverse perspectives. Gain hands-on experience through community projects and internships.
REPSI is a TVETA accredited institution and offers all programs through online situated distance learning. You'll be empowered with the skills to create real lasting impact in communities.
Join us in shaping a brighter, more inclusive future for children and young people. Enroll with us for a program that equips you with the skills to create real, lasting impact.
To start your application, email us admissions.zambia@repsi.org or www.repsi.org or our Facebook page @RepsiZambia or call 0770-707-924. Together, let's make a difference through love, care, and protection for children.
We don't post that work automatically, but we are highly educated people. Probably some of the most educated politicians in the world.
Yeah.
In the world. In terms of politicians, there's no politician in Africa who matches my qualifications. No one in Africa. No one in the world that you know of who matches my qualifications in politics. I'm not saying I'm the most educated person in the world, no. Among the politicians, there are very few, if any. To try and humiliate us in this way, what they were after was to humiliate a person who has served this country with very high levels of integrity, with sufficient honor. My running mate, Dolika, is a highly educated person. She's a highly educated person, highly experienced professional. To try and humiliate her in that way with a grade 7. What is a grade 7 certificate? With a grade 7 certificate. And also, we are becoming unnecessarily litigious. People are allowed, they are paid money to take people to court. Well, they were scared of us. This is quality leadership that you have for this country. And it's time, Zambians, you started to focus on quality leadership. Move away from criminal gangs all the time. You have elected incompetent people, you have elected criminals. And you see it, that these people you are trying to give power to, they are nothing but a bunch of crooks. A bunch of crooks. You don't want decent people. You don't want competent people. You want to bring them down. You want to humiliate them. This country is not going to move forward if we don't have quality leadership. All the things we need, God has given us. The only thing missing right now is quality leadership to take this country out of the situation it's in. Don't forget, we are 22 million Zambians today, estimated. The population growth rate of this country, the average national population growth rate is 3.5%. In the urban areas is 4%. At this rate, it means in the next 12 to 15 years, we'll have more than 44 million Zambians. We are failing to look after 22 million. What programs do we have for the next 15 years to move us out of the poverty we are in? We have national average poverty of more than 60%. In the poorest province where I come from, Muchinga, we are at 2.6% poverty. We have 82.6% poverty. Western province, second, with 78.6% poverty. Northern province, again, where I come from, 78% poverty. Luapula, 77.3% poverty. Eastern province, 76.4% poverty. These are very high poverty levels. Without quality leadership, forget it. Today, all our civil servants and other workers are in a debt trap. They are in a debt trap not because they don't know how to use money. They are in a debt trap because most of their relatives, most of their family members are not employed, are not earning anything. One person who is working is looking after so many people. And vintu balance in that way. They resort to kalova, even on payday. If these people are not freed from the debt, forget about development in this country. They are the ones running the country. They are the workers. They are the producers of goods and services. We can't continue to be ruled in this way. Tekuchinja fya chipani chile teka na kateka olipo. Tekufunyapo fya kainde na UPND au. Kuchinja mitekele chirefu aiko. Hakainde na UPND nabasiba. Balingire baya. But tekuleta po ifipu na fimbi. Tekuleta for kabola na bambi. Yes. Tekuleta po another bunch of crooks and criminals to come and finish off where these have left. We need quality leadership. And that quality leadership will come from this leadership.
Yeah. But just the competitor move, what's your analysis of the court's opinion over the matter?
The court tried. They tried. It's one of the best judgments, one of the well-reasoned judgments I've seen or read or heard from the Constitutional Court. I was wondering when they said they will come back to give the judgment in 1 hour. I was wondering what type of judgment it was going to be, but they have done their work. I haven't digested it fully, but from what I heard, it was a reasonable judgment. Not because it's favorable to me, but they have reasoned. It's reasoned. Even if it was not going to be favorable to us, but at least they have tried to reason. Give credit where it's due. Yes. And not because it's favorable to you, no. It was a good judgment, in my view. Thank you.
You are watching the Royal Breakfast Show on a Thursday edition right here on Crown Television, DSTV channel 277, GoTV channel 23, and Topstar channel 89. We just coming from the news, and one of the news stories, obviously, just like you did get to see from that particular clip, is that which is screaming the headline cleared, as Dr. Fred M'membe and his running mate Dolika Banda did get to secure the spot on the August ballot backdash.
Yes, very interesting stuff. And basically, the conversation was around the running mates, obviously, in Ms. Dolika Banda. And basically what happened is that the Constitutional Court Judge Mapani Kawimbe actually ruled that the petitioners failed to provide the sufficient evidence, which was actually showing that Ms. Banda lacked a grade 12 certificate or its equivalent. And as you heard in the clip over there, where Dr. Fred M'membe had said, he said that he's one of the most qualified politicians that you'd actually find, but he's also saying that he's not really saying it in a bragging manner.
Interesting. Now, the petitioners argued that Ms. Dolika Banda's 1978 Cambridge OCR General Secondary School certificate was not equivalent to a full Zambian grade 12 certificate, because a presidential ticket obviously is inseparable and Article 110. So they wanted to have these people disqualified, and those are the petitioners. But from how it looks like, the Constitutional Court has actually thrown it out. The Socialist Party are now back on the ticket, and very, very much interesting comments that are coming through from Dr. Fred M'membe. He says it was what did you call it? There's a word that I'm looking for. It's all right. I'm going to tell you the word, but it's sort of child play, for lack of a better term, to challenge people of such high caliber when it comes to educational or academic attainment. He says if there is any person that he knows that is highly educated in the space of politics worldwide, then he is also among those particular people, but he is highly learned, according to him. And obviously one of the things that he's saying is that it was child's play, really, and they're coming back to give Zambia quality leadership. And he says that, I don't want to say quote unquote, the words that was saying, especially, in local language, where he criticizes or accuses the UPND government of failing to deliver on, development and all of the other things that they might be saying that they did. And he says we do not need to repeat the same pattern of leadership as we're getting to be going to the polls. And quality leadership can only be attained from the Socialist Party, according to him.
Exactly. But obviously, we're going to be delving into this a little bit more later on. We are going to be getting into an interview in just a bit. But Dr. Fred M'membe also commended the court's decision as a professional and impartial, allowing the Socialist Party to officially continue to campaign for the 2026 elections. Of course, there's a lot of debate saying that there's a lack of democracy that is currently happening. We're going into a one-party state. Of course, that's not the thing, because we did have the presidential screening, which took place in order to show that a number of candidates can be, qualified enough in order for them to stand for that ticket and to have enough supporters. So it's quite interesting that he's saying that he would be the more credible candidate to take on from, President HH and what he's done and what he's failed to deliver.
Indeed, those are the issues that we have on the table today for discussion. Remember that you can be a part of it by getting to write to us on 0979-958392. There's so much that we should be getting into, but also allow us to get into the money markets and just get to find out how it's looking like, so that you can make right and informed financial decisions this particular day. We're getting to look at how the kwacha is faring against other major convertibles. Remember that this is as of 06 today, and And, these figures are actually prone to change with time. So depending on what time you get to visit your bureau or your preferred bureau, you might find the prices slightly higher or even slightly lower than what it was as at 6 hours. So let's check into the money markets and see how it is looking like with the kwacha against currencies like the dollar and other major currencies. Remember that previously there's been reports of the kwacha being voted as one of the best performing currencies. It was 10 currencies. It was topping of about 24 plus percentages there in how it is just held it up with the performance there. But Dash, this is how it looks like.
Yes, and looking at the euro, it's buying at 20 kwacha 49 and selling at 20 kwacha 89. And then the rand, it seems to have stayed in the same position or the same units as yesterday, where it's buying at 1 kwacha 9 and selling at 1 kwacha 11. The Great British Pound is buying at 23 kwacha 69 and selling at 24 kwacha 16 And then the United States dollar is buying at 17 kwacha 66 and then now selling at 18 kwacha 1 So if you're selling some dollars, you might be in the better position. But if you're buying, you are in an even better position as well, because it's slightly lower than what you'd actually get. So these rates are indicative. They do vary from bank to bank. And of course, they are as of 6 o'clock.
Yes, indeed. That's how it looks like right there. But straightly, let's get into the newspapers and just get to find out how it is looking like on the various front pages. Coupled together with what we are discussing, you can get to let us know what your thoughts are on 0979-958392 on these various stories that will be emanating from the different newspapers that we are about to take a look at. You can go to our Facebook page where we are live right about now as Crown TV Zambia and leave us a comment there, and we will be more than glad to read it out or to read your thoughts out later on the show. The phone lines will be on as well, and so that you can actually get to come through when I hear your voice on these particular matters. The Mass newspaper comes to you strongly saying Kuya Bebere, UPND must go to save Zambia from doom, says Kaela. Is the lead story in that particular newspaper. The other one says, stay away from UNZA students. Stay away from UNZA, students advised. That is the story there. And in yellow, it says, brace for internet shutdowns, NCP urges. And then right next to it, it says, engage in violence at own peril. That's according to the UPND cadres being warned. The other one says, unsafe food preventable burden, says ZIXA. Obviously, that's the Zambia Compulsory Standards getting to issue that particular statement right there. The Mass newspaper appears like this. Which story stands out to you? Let us know in the comment section, as well as in our inbox via you getting to write to us on 0979-958392.
Moving on to another newspaper this morning, which is making some interesting headlines, is the Times of Zambia. Now, at this particular time, the main headline is leading with, I'm a missionary. H8 says he came to serve Zambia, not to gain personally. And then on top, there's another headline which reads, government woos railway transport investors. So that's you can actually find the rest of that story on page 2. M'membe Dolika freed to contest Paul's rules court. You can find more of that story on page 2. At the back, you find a headline where the under-17 women's coach, Carol Kenyambe, says a lot at stake. So you find the rest of the story on page 16. Right next to the main headline on your right, in yellow in that black box, it says, electric atmosphere grips Joma. And then underneath there, emulate KK's values. That's according to the president. In pink, there's another headline which reads, no musicians banned. And that's according to the government. GPE hails free education law. And then in blue, there's another headline which reads, CDF tool for poverty eradication, Ugandan Parley office. So you can find the rest of that story on page 2. Otherwise, those are the headlines making the Times of Zambia newspaper this morning.
Yes, it did. That's how it looks like. We move to the next set of newspaper this morning. And just going to find out how it is looking like. It is the Daily Nation. It comes through with a story saying GBM quits politics pleads that he should not be dragged into politics as he is now retired. Says he laid down his political gloves to concentrate on business, a field he knows better from his heart. That's a very interesting story, obviously, coming through from there. The other one says UPND adoptions were messy. That's according to the Republican President HH, who says he takes responsibility for the mishandling of the process as he apologizes to the party membership for the confusion, but advises those who were not adopted to support and campaign for the adopted candidates. The story continues on page 3. Now, today marks 15 years of Chiluba's legacy. The story there leads the Chiluba legacy at 15, the president who turned tenants into homeowners. President Chiluba, you can see actually there in pictures. This is also what we are getting to ask you as a question. What are some of the things that you're going to be remembering President Chiluba for? As today, actually, Thursday, the 18th of June, marks exactly 15 years since his passing back in 2011. Now, violence erupts in Mandevu is another story that comes through from the Daily Nation. Would love for you to pick on any and let us know what your thoughts are this particular morning on these various issues.
It is 0979-958-392. Later on, we will be taking in your phone calls and also looking at some of the messages that are currently coming through. The Daily Mail newspaper leads with the headline, "They're coming for your money. HH warns Zambians not to be deceived by self-serving politicians." Underneath that, government to spend $275 million on grid upgrade. Next to that in red, Zambia's still gaining from KK Foundation. So that's according to the president. Underneath there are two stories, one of them saying ZRA donates seized cooking oil. So that's the Zambia Revenue Authority. Right next to that, Mopani gives CBU equipment. And then next to that, also underneath the headline that's in red, mischief will not be tolerated. That's according to ZLM. And then there's inspirational quotes, like we keep on saying, just one more day until we get to the weekend officially, but people normally start their weekend on a Thursday. It does say, a problem is only a problem when viewed as a problem. That is according to Robin Sharma.
Yeah, it is actually. A problem is a problem when you view it as a problem. Because the people that don't take offense most of the times, you do know that.
Yeah. Some people move with no shame.
Exactly.
But it is 0979-958-392. The most dangerous person is that person who does not feel any sense of embarrassment.
I concur with you. This one says it is a news dig as well. It comes through with a strong and leading story saying HH stands no chance. He's going in August. That's according to Tonse. And right beneath that it says there's no politician in the world more educated than me. You heard that right from Dr. Fred M'membe in the clip that we just showed you earlier. This one says police pursue violent UPND cadres who disrupted Tonse meeting. This is coming through obviously on, from Kasama there. I'm a missionary. I came for work, not salary. So according to the Republican President, Mr. Againde Hijirema, made that particular statement yesterday in the southern parts of the country. But the news diggers could dig up these stories today, and that's how it looks like. Leave us your thoughts on 0979-958392.
Now, today is the 18th of June, and of course, like we like to do most of the time, we like to take you back in history so that we keep you acquainted as to what is happening in and around you, and so that you know where you're going, because you need to know where you're coming from. So let's take a look at what happened today in history. very interesting events that happened today on the 18th of June, and one of which is Dr. Frederick Chiluba. Of course, we remember him 15 years later. It's the 15th anniversary. And of course, if you are in South Africa right now, you might have noticed that one of your former presidents also is celebrating his birthday today, and that is Thabo Mbeki. There's a road in Lusaka. It's called Thabo Mbeki Road. So if you want to pay your respects, just take a picture of the name of the road and then just wish him a happy birthday and say, yes, we housed you at some point. But before that, because Mike has given me the hippie-jeepies look, we're going to take a quick break, and then we do have an interview coming through.
Definitely, we're going to be having that. But I wanted just to make mention that today also marks 15 years of FTJ Memorial, obviously.
Yeah.
So people can as well just, find time, visit Embassy Park and take a picture, pay your respects. Obviously, every year there is what do you call it? A ceremony or a mass of some sort that happens right there where he's resting at his burial site. So yeah, if you have got time, kindly pass through Embassy Park, and obviously going to be finding people commemorating this particular leader that we had. Remember that he did play quite a very pivotal role, especially when it comes to the politic side of Zambia. There was a 27 rule of one party leadership until they came into that particular effect with the MMD. Getting to defeat the first Republican president, the UNIP. They held power. He was remembered for quite a number of issues like various economic reforms. He brought, the privatization of state-owned companies and also the liberalization of the markets. But also, aside from that, he is remembered as one leader who declared Zambia as a Christian nation. And that was a policy that now further or later on found itself being a part of the constitution of the country.
I know you've got a lot to say, Mike, but we gotta get the guests in.
There was so much. There's so much. But yes, we're going to be going on a short break, and we'll be getting to come through with our first discussion with our guest in studio this morning. So stay tuned.
Ulefwaya usende atia munani padi iyi nshirapusha no kutunga chuo
Arara kentrande na imwe mana nwamingisha nomba mnganda mana nwamingisha mnganda
takaina pakulala ero fibo filifulu tabano kulingalala mwanjini na raisa zomunzaka mana
vibu filitalo kense kukosa vendasa kama na fyomwe
abantu abalefu efyupo muno mu kyalo bengi sana
nomba ina wamwisa nali upo hapo
ina ne ali kunombera ine pano wafe olwo abantu abaleta mboti bakweva atukweva ati ine nshau papo nshakwatapo mwana
ine ninjipelesha kulima ngamuli serious munjo ati ndi serious kozine shirafu kusebana kuchalo
kuti wana pa beneka
ibo mrefa kupa ine ngakwalo mwana kashuwa isunga pano pachalo pona aba vingani nayi mwe wazapikira le vingani
The ultimate business stage is back. From the 1st to the 7th of July, the Trade Fairgrounds in Ndola will be buzzing with endless opportunities. But how does your business stand out in the crowd? You get on the big screen with Crown TV. We will be live in Ndola, ready to take your brand straight into the homes of millions. From primetime commercials to exclusive event coverage, we create advertising that drives real results. Don't miss out. Visit the Crown TV stand in Ndola between July 1st and July 7th, or contact our sales team today to secure your special trade fair advertising package. Crown TV, feel the honor.
you guys have any water?
If you ever find yourself in Lusaka and you're always trying to shift and you're trying to find a house, we do know that it's not an easy task to make, especially if you're a student who's looking for a certain apartment that fits your bill. However, our guest today is Ben Tembo, who is a marketing manager, and there's a very interesting app that can actually help you navigate your way through Lusaka and various regions so that it makes your life easier when it does come to, you know, creating those opportunities to find a house much easier. Ben Tembo, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me today on your program.
I know it's very it's very difficult to find houses these days.
True.
How long did it take for you to find, I don't know if you still live with your parents or anything, but was it a difficult task for you to find an apartment or like any of your friends?
Yes, surely, because in Lusaka we have, you know, the population is growing every day.
Yeah.
So it was very hard for me to just find an apartment or just a normal house, a suitable house for me. It took like, I don't know, 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah, to just find that house in that location that I wanted to, you know.
Now, there's an interesting app that has been created and it's called ZamSpace.
Yes.
What inspired the creation and also what inspired the name behind it?
So ZamSpace, what inspired the name is, you know, ZamSpace, the Zambian app, you know, so that people can just be familiar with it. Okay, it's ZamSpace, the Zambian app, proudly Zambian. And how we came up with ZamSpace is we're just trying to increase transparency, you know, because as you know, there's a lot of scammers in the property industry. So we are trying to reduce that thing and so for us to just promote transparency. You know, yeah.
So who can benefit from using this app?
I believe every Zambian, but especially the people that are sort of in the property industry. Let's say you have residential property, you have commercial property, or you're building a house, you know, those are the people that are benefiting so much out of ZamSpace.
Now, I do understand that it's not for people who are only renting but building.
Yes.
So how does it benefit them in that sense?
You can put your business on ZamSpace, you know. So if you have a building company or you have a block making company, you can actually put your business on platform and get customers.
Okay, so how does it sort of address the situation where, you know, house hunting is quite difficult for people, and you said it took you 6 months.
Yeah.
So how does it address that situation?
So it's sort of, you know, it's an app, it's a digital platform, you know, it's on your phone. So there's nothing like going door to door looking for a house when you can actually just go on your phone, download the app on Google App Store or Play Store and just go through every listing and just find what's suitable for you. Yeah.
Okay, how does it work exactly? I know like after you download it and everything, like are there categories for somebody who wants to rent or buy
So yeah,
or
there are
build?
different categories where there's rent, buy, you know, service providers, suppliers, and estate agents.
And is this just for like in Lusaka or maybe like it's in various parts of the region?
So right now we are only operating in Lusaka, but soon we're moving to the Copper Belt. So Copper Belt, look out for us. We're coming.
And then also, are there any like fees that are attached to it, like when you do find the house? Because normally there's like agent fees when people go house hunting.
Yeah. So for us, there's no fees. It's completely free, guys.
Nice.
Free. And sort of you'll be talking directly with the owner. So as we're just acting as the middleman, you know, then you'll be having that conversation with the owner. Then you finish off your business, the two of you guys.
Okay. And then is there like a FAQ, you know, like where you can communicate in case you have any problems of communicating with the main person? Of course.
Yes. We have that.
Okay, nice. Now, what is your long-term vision for the same app as well as, you know, the future of property in Zambia?
So as we're looking to expand, you know, to just, if possible, outside of Zambia, you know, we're looking at Malawi, South Africa, you know, so we can reach those parts of Africa.
Yeah.
You know, that's our main goal. And to just make property searching easier for the Zambian people. Yes.
Now, speaking of property searching, somebody who is in university right now, they're probably scared to go house hunting, or maybe, they just want to find the perfect apartment. But the problem is they're normally so far away from the actual destination. So what advice would you give to someone who's looking to invest in property for the very first time?
Looking to invest in property for the first time. So property is sort of a longevity, investment. And I would advise anyone to invest in that, because it's sort of, let's say, I would give an example. Let's say you have 10 residential properties, right? Then those ones are out for rent, let's say, each 10,000, So it's sort of every month, you're guaranteed to get something from there. 100K, that's a lot for you to just, that thing is just sitting around. You're not even like, okay, I have to like go for work, what and what. So it's sort of a good investment to make. I would advise anyone to just invest in property.
Okay, not taking out any loans or anything, because it can be risky. You have to look for the capital somewhere.
True. But I'd advise you to just go straight on, head on,
Okay, I've always tried to invest, but anyway, that's a conversation for another day. But how can people, where can people download the app, and how do they also get in touch in case they have questions?
So you can download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store, and we also have a website at zamspace.com. Yeah, so we're almost everywhere on our platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Zamspace.
Okay, now before I do let you go, is there anything else that you'd like to address to the viewers?
Just download the app. It's going to make property searching so easy in Zambia, and we're waiting for you guys to be on our platform, and we're also waiting for your feedback.
I'm definitely going to download this app because I've been looking to move out for a bit. I'm joking, Mom. I'm joking. But Ben Tembo, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you too for having me here.
We're talking to Ben Tembo, who is an app and content creator, and just telling you a little bit more about the app that can make house hunting a whole lot easier for you if you're in university, or if you're in a family house, or maybe a family of 5 looking to get out of a certain area. We're going to take a short break. When we do return, we continue with the show.
Do you realize that tomorrow you could be president in this country? I say, well, yes, so what? He says, yes, what you say today will matter tomorrow.
He is remembered by many as the father of Zambia's democracy, the man who championed the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation, and the country's second Republican president, Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba. 15 years after his death on June 18, 2011, Dr. Chiluba's legacy continues to shape the nation's political, economic, democratic, and constitutional identity. Dr. Chiluba was among the leading figures who challenged the one-party state, a struggle that culminated in the formation of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD. Following MMD's victory in Zambia's first multi-party elections in 1991, Dr. Chiluba became the country's second Republican president, ushering in a new era of democratic governance. One of the defining moments of his presidency came in December 1991, when he declared Zambia a Christian nation, a declaration that was later enshrined in the country's constitution and remains one of his most enduring legacies.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, our Lord, I rededicate this nation as a Christian nation. I know we are at war against the devil, but the devil can never win. The devil was defeated on Calvary.
And the Independent Churches of Zambia, ICOZ, has paid tribute to the late former head of state, describing him as a gallant son of the soul who stood for justice and the interests of the Zambian people during a defining period in the country's history. ICOZ President Bishop David Masupa says Dr. Chiluba's decision to declare Zambia a Christian nation continues to shine as a beacon of faith and national identity. Bishop Masupa says the late president also played a pivotal role in introducing democracy at a time when many Zambians had little understanding of multi-party politics. He says today's political leaders have much to learn from Dr. Chiluba's leadership, describing him as a patriotic leader whose loyalty was firmly rooted in serving the nation rather than personal interests.
The man is the father of democracy. The man is also the father of the rule of law, who instigated the democracy and the rule of law to thrive in the nation of our country, Zambia.
Meanwhile, Bishop Masupa has also highlighted Dr. Chiluba's contribution to the liberalization of Zambia's economy, saying the reforms introduced during his administration opened up opportunities for the private sector growth and laid the foundation for the country's modern economic framework. Bishop Masupa says, although opinions on Dr. Chiluba's presidency may differ, history will remember him as one of the country's most influential leaders whose contributions to democracy, economic reforms, and the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation remain an integral part of Zambia's national story.
He also promoted a liberal economic system in Zambia to experience what we are experiencing right now. The markets were open, the price control diminished, and he cancelled it when he became president.
We seek peace, dear God. Yes, the peace that cometh from you, not the peace of the world, but the peace that passeth all understanding.
For Crown TV News, Tawanda Munyuki.
As a Christian nation, I know we are at war against the devil.
Yes, indeed, a lovely conversation right there, but obviously, welcome back to it. We're also getting to celebrate 15 years of FTJ's legacy. What stands out the most in the memory of former President FTJ Chiluba? You can actually get to let us know via getting to call us on 0979-958392. Dash was earlier getting surprised at what he used to put on those kind of crocodile shoes.
And you were saying that those like his initials on the sole of the shoe, so that when he's bouncing, people would recognize FTJ
passed here. So that was one of my uncles. If it's not my grandfather, actually told me about these special shoes that FTJ used to wear. Where because of those initials that would actually get to remain in print. But yeah, he was a fashionista like that. He had a sense of fashion that was
mogul.
Just
Fashionistas for the ladies.
Thanks for the correction.
Yeah.
But there's so much that people would just get to remember this great gallant side of the soul. Just like I was mentioning earlier, to say that the privatization of government-owned parastatals plus other things as well that he got to do. One which still remains a very, very fundamental thing that holds us in terms of moral conduct and ethical conduct is the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation. Even though we do recognize other people that are practicing other religions, but Christianity was put at the center of what defines this particular country when it comes to religion. So he brought that up and it has become law. It is married with the law now. Everywhere where we go as Zambians, we're identified as people that are Christians.
I think the biggest thing that I would actually take off from the fact that, when he did grace the ground was the coining of the term that Zambia is a Christian nation. We have been using that phrase from the time that we'd heard about it being, implemented into the fold, and a lot of things have changed. This is the 21st century, and still people still come to ask if indeed we are maintaining the values that can actually make us say that we are a Christian nation. I mean, there are a few things that have been happening behind closed doors. There are some things that make you question, like, are we still living in a Christian nation? But I think that is the biggest thing that I can take away from what he'd actually brought to society. And also the fact is that he also introduced the multi-party state. state.
Exactly.
When we moved away from a one-party state. Yeah.
Lovely to mention that, obviously, like emanating from, or rather picking from what has been happening recently, it is also just so very important that we get to pose this particular question, in as much as people will be answering to what stands out in their memory of the former president. Are we still confident in the fact that we are a Christian nation? Recently, this particular year, there were a lot of mob justice cases that were recorded. A woman in Kalumbira lost her life because people accused her of getting to do something that she didn't actually do, and at the end of the day, a life was lost. There have been reports where somebody's suspected of practicing witchcraft. They go there, they gang up, and they burn their house. In most very unfortunate cases, you find that the very person obviously dies. There was another man as well who survived, in the hands of a mob justice. He was equally as well, accused of getting to have made someone's privates disappear, which wasn't the case. All of these kind of happenings, there's so much that is going on in the country. There's so much that is going on in homes. Are we confident that we can actually still call ourselves Christians, or are we doing justice to what the vision that Dr. Frederick Chiluba had when he was getting to coin Zambia as a Christian nation? Are we doing justice to ourselves? Are we doing justice to God, whom we're actually getting to claim that we believe in by identifying as Christians? This is all from what has been happening recently in the country. So very much important that we get to ask ourselves such a question. And
we are asking you the same question, and that is, what stands out the most in your memory of the former President FTJ Chiluba? The numbers to dial are 0979 958 392, and the phone line is officially open. We do see that some of the messages have also been coming through, but for now, we'd like to hear your voice with regards to this. And of course, we're looking back 15 years on. It is the 15th year, or the 15th memorial, as which we're going to be looking back as to one of our presidents, our former presidents.
What is very interesting is the fact that these dates are happening like one after the other. Yesterday was the 5th memorial for the first Republican president. Isn't it ironic how the first Republican president actually passed on the 17th of June, and the second Republican president passed on the 18th of June, a day just after that particular one? So obviously, we are still in the spirit of getting to celebrate the lives of these two great people that have left an indelible mark, really, a very, very huge impact on the country, either in the spaces of politics, economics, and social setups, obviously, whatever it is that you can actually get to think of. These are people that were so very much passionate. They had the vision for the country, obviously getting to liberate Zambia from colonial rule by the Kaunda regime and the other people that were there in the fight for freedom, and also just getting to emancipate the atmosphere from a one-party state to a state that all stakeholders or people that feel like they do have the political will can all freely participate through the introduction of multi-party democracy with the MMD and the Frederick Chiluba. So it's pretty much very, very sensitive days, 17th of June and 18th of June. I find it so ironic that they happen like that, but I know that we do have people that want to call us.
Speaking of ironies.
Hello, good morning. Hello. Yes, good. Yes, ni ku Crown.
Oh.
Ni bandani watumira kuti?
Ni Vakatama Livingstone.
Vakatama?
Ku Livingstone.
Okay, ku Livingstone kuli bwanji?
Kuli bwino ku Livingstone.
Zikomo kupitirizana.
Nimukumbuka ine Frederick Chiluba. Pa last meeting yake ku Matero Police. Nisi tuli ku Matero Police. Panja outside murodi muja. Akambati. Mwe bantu ba Muzambia ngamufuna kuti mukankale bwino ine nikabwerapo first promise amene nifuna kumpiro mbisingani kumiuzani kuti muziba kutenga chalo nikovuta so kuzankala ma problems yenango amene azankalako amavuto manje mwavumerayo kuti ankaleko bantu bose banayimika manja mumulu ati twavumera ati afuta twavutika then kusogolo ni pamene tuzankala bwino ndiye mwamene nimukumbukira Number 2, nimukumbuka pamaliro ava footballer ku ground kwamene analira maningi mwanga mkazi pamupasa pempero apempera before akalibe kuisiriza alira maningi the whole ground valila pamene nimukumbukira pa vintu viviri hivyo. Thank you.
Zikomo maningi, Madam Katama, all the way from Livingstone, for sharing us with us what are your fond memories of former second Republican president. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sakala.
Yes, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you so much. How are you?
We are very fine, thank you. How is Chilanga?
Chilanga is doing well.
Please go ahead and give us what your utmost memory of former President FTJ is.
Yeah, I think he had a very superb life, very excellent, very eloquent speaker. I think Frederick Chiluba, at the time he came on scene, I was too young. But one thing that comes out so memorable on me is the sale of houses. I think it looked very impossible, but the man managed to empower the people of Zambia to buy houses, especially in the mining sector, everywhere in the private. Everyone enjoyed. Up to this very point, we have a number of people that are own their own houses, which looked very, very impossible. I think on that particular point, I think I really appreciate what Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba did. And one thing that I also liked with him is whatever that he did, God was first in his life. And that is very important because he was the one man who knew that whatever that he was doing was founded on the principles and the fear of God. And he ruled Zambia in a very sober way. Today we are called a Christian nation, not because of anybody else, but because of the declaration of our President Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba. He was a great man. And just like what my sister has mentioned, indeed, that prayer that he gave up to this very point, it still rings as if he gave it yesterday. It was a very, very important prayer. And you can see that it came right from the deepest of hearts. Those are the prayers that we need. We'll still continue holding on to this declaration as Zambia as a Christian nation. It doesn't matter the evils that will still happen. Yes, evils, the enemy will still continue fighting, but the declaration will still stand. Those that will know the importance of that declaration will, I think, will go through and conquer. So indeed, for me, he was a great man, a God-fearing person, someone who knew how to wear. I remember his clothes, the shoes, the jacket. He never... You know, he was not a careless person when it came to dressing. He was very, very passionate about it.
Thank you so much.
So indeed, he was a great man. May he continue resting in peace. Thank you so much, Sakala and Ndashi. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day as well. Hello, good morning.
Mike and Ndashi, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Moses. How are you doing?
Moses. We are no major breakdowns. We are fine this morning.
What stands out as the most of your memory when it comes to former Republican president, second Republican president FTJ?
Yeah, indeed, I was old at that time, and one of the things that stand out the most for me was his honest politics. You know, he was a man who could tell you to stay up vintu vizavutako konzekerani. I remember the chapter privatization, and I thought that we should tighten our belt because things will not be okay ahead of us. And like these politicians that we have today, who are just telling us heaven on earth, but they should know that that is not just about heaven and earth on earth. Even with their manifestos, when those manifestos are transformed into policies, that period will be a painful period because you cannot just come today, Mairo unga wankala 50 kwacha or Abuela Rero, then watch to increase the CDF to 100 million. That's thing out in drama zamane. So increase new allowance to where it is today to something like it can in Mazingatia. Uzaka is just out in drama. So politicians should always be honest like Chiluba. And as I go, the people of Matero are really appreciating for those houses That's real empowerment. Empower your people through land. Empowered them. You knew that these people suffered. They've been tenants for many, many years. So Ankalekona to Manyumba, and they remember him for that. That's real empowerment. Nakuja ku PHI kuja. Chiko wanamanga no bulisa abantu kuja PHI. Presidential unity houses ya jari kuja. Ndiye muntu huyo. Zamkumbukira forever. Analira mu stadium pamene ma players watu anafa. Kaya president analira hapo after him ni karibu uona hapo Mzambe 7 of them is the only one. Na kazungu na pinga kuja huyu chiwa kukamba value vazona. Not papa paper kulonga na paper. A real thing that we Africans
thank you so much
through at that time. What a president we are. The gift to Zambia indeed. Thank you, Ama.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moses. We really appreciate your contribution. We do have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, thank you. How are you, Masakala?
We are very fine, thank you. Let us know your thoughts this morning.
Number to the town, but in them it was a court mwena chipati.
Fish to ashita papen.
Mwale tula mpezeni ya fuido wa onda. Ikunku mwikadina. Why? Mfumu kuleka ya fuanensala. Tamava mwini.
Please konkanye nipo.
Okay, FTJ, I first met him in 1976. I was then Students' Union's leader at Nortec. And then next to Falcon Hotel, if you know Ndola very well. And I used to drink with him at Falcon Hotel. However, I differed with him on principle. There is no way you can sell a house worth 100,000 at 10 kwacha. I differed with him there. And then look at the companies. Makaunda had created more than 296 companies. In Chito, like us we were in colleges, companies used to come and pick us. But when he came to power, he destroyed all that. I wasn't happy. I protested and left the country for 20 years. Because, you know, you don't destroy the economy like that. I did not sold those houses. The councils had houses and they used to pay people. After selling all the houses, the council are now in a limbo. I wasn't happy. But if you look at HH following the KK, things are improving. The ones who are complaining are lazy ones. Because look at this. I am now retired and I'm a farmer. A bag of meal, 50 kg is at 340 from 180. How can I suffer when I'm selling my maize economically like that? And look at this. The people, I know them, but I think cyber so that we can review some of the things, because I know those who were just cadres, simple cadres, were earning more than us who have been to school. This is where M'membe is saying to study place HH not to poor. I agree with him 100%.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, Mike Mwakabwanji.
Buno Mwakabwanji.
Bino.
Nibandani batumira kuti.
Mamake JJ kuzanimuone.
Mamake?
JJ.
Mamake JJ kuzanimuone kuli bwanji.
Titabe kuzadi.
Please, pitirizani.
Awe, niya kumbukira achiruba. Na 1990 wabenzera best friend na tate wanga nsenza pamoja kwa telescope. Bakwatira bavera chiruba balivonse ka police camp. Bacho bakuja mbo senza mu telescope akasa kuchifumu kuluta kutaba manyumba twamba telescope bezoka. Bezoka namba 4. So time abo.
Hello. Mamake JJ Gulan Doctor Minangu Mutume back again. Would love to hear that story. Hello, good morning.
Yes. Hello?
Yes, hello, good morning.
Mwashibukeni mkwai.
Mkwai mwashibukeni. Ni bana nani tumina kwisa?
Yonde tumina kulwa province.
Ni bana nani?
Shina lyandi ninewo Kapota James.
But James, konganye nipo.
Emukai. Kali ashiri abachiruba. Nde ukishapo kwene visumefyo bachitire pakuleta democracy. Yashiri abachiruba. Nde ukishokwe bati emwasambirire naba HH politics bantu bali bonsero bale chitishefipe. Ili ashiri abachiruba nde ukisha ifyo bali ambo nokupepa. Nde ukisha abachiruba okuleta Zambia Christian Nation. Elio kwabula Zambia Christian Nation ngatatwa ikala bwino ngatwa welele kunuma. Elio bachiruba ebaletere Mount Party democracy. Bachiruba echo baletere ko Mount Party democracy tefifire chitike fya kwebati ichipani chimbi chire chaya imanina atiyo chali sanguka chechi. Ichipani chimbi bachinyantirira atiyo ichikano fyetu chitechika onekera pa ballot paper. Ichwe chire nchitawari tukuushana bachiruba kwebati bachiruba ngatabali bwino ngabali suminishe aya mapati yonse okula imanina nokula sita participate freely au bali abafyashi bali bombere. Lero echo mwamwena nabantu bayimina ini numbers bale chitechipani chati chisa chimanine banyanta ngamwati mumone chipani chawa mundu bile chapangirwa obushiku ichera mpi chasukwa chasokoloka na papene ifichi cyari chapangirwa obushiku chaisa afika mu rubuto echo twirire nacho na ifofwe bena rwapula na tumfwati pa 19 pa 27 bale bakuru wapula twala pokerero ko chirana okopa belt
twatotera mkwasi
na kukabwe mwane twatashi.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother, Mr. Sakala.
How are you, Mr. Albert?
Please, you are supposed to hold my name. Without my name, sorry. Okay, no, it's okay. We are pushing. We are fine. Mr. Sakala, I remember Chiluba for bringing, introducing democracy. We are enjoying what we are enjoying today because of him. We made Zambian, he brought up the issue of a Christian nation. I remember it was on 29th of December. He stood on the platform to say that Zambia today should be called a Christian nation. For that, we are grateful. He empowered the transporters. By then, he said UBZ was collapsing, so a lot of people with money, they came on board, they didn't pay tax. They brought in a lot of buses. I know a lot of things. He also empowered people to start owning land in towns, because as you remember, that time I was young, most of the houses, they were for national housing councils, and government, so he empowered us to become landlord. So, and Ndashi and Mike, I think, let me just mention the other issue. There's a campaign of independents. They're not good. Independents have done what? To tell you the truth, as we are standing as independent candidates, we mean well, and the money which people are giving you, if you are given any money, eat that money, it is yours. Independent candidate, they mean well, and the Constitution of Zambia allows that.
Thank you so much.
As yes, in conclusion, we mean well, and we will bring development in these corners of Zambia.
Thank you so much. 0979958392. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Tauka mwaka bwanji.
Okay, Sakala.
Yeo ni bandani batumira kuti.
Abane bahambula Charles bali mwa Johnny Lenge muno.
Mr. Hambura Charles ku Johnny Lenge kuli bwanji.
Sa?
Kuli bwanji ku Johnny Lenge.
Ku Johnny Lenge kapepo chabe bali atuli bwino.
Nikonse pitirizani.
So hapa tianganeko kupakani hapa mudala bachiruwa. I remember, though I was still young, but at least as a mkuluko, many vanabwera mu system. By then, in Shuvafana Baja, which was present for the matches, it was difficult. We end up to the soap, we had to put my soap, Kunieki, then you got to come up and say, Figure Kujat, so my soap, I see that, but by night, I'm a sugar. so pamene vanangena vintu vinabwera vachinja kuchita kudabwa chipedza vafana vamba kupedza kudya kwa mashuga wa manyumba na mafupi moyo machezi ava kupezeka pafupi nemba je pamene panabwera vanitani natumtemba so mabusiness ya paka nikumbuka nienda kuskulu kupemba secondary ngati basi ya kusiyani yayo bizete pamapanza vaji kunabwera mabasi ati mapewe before you chitamvera ta kurusaka kwabwera mabasi tungono. So the man did change the system ati zintu zinapepuka mwe. But again, one thing which I was shocked pamene pana vanangena mu child mu system kapena after he has looked for some time. Pamene vanaita ko review ya channel it. Apa Japeve, I was not happy with him because now that Manda pa security ya Zambia ili momanja mwabantu. Yeah, I never know what otherwise vinangi vanashita kuchape kuino. But
thank you so much. 0979958392. Hello, good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
Mwauka.
Tauka banda mwauka bwanji.
Mwauka saka mwana kabuna wambere.
Taamikira kuli bwanji kusinda.
Nda kuli mpepo manenge.
Nakuno kulusaka.
Zapeko ngani achiru. Achiru unali muntu wabuna wambere. Wanadichangamula. Enzo gula paja muyu ati kapena ICZ kapena ni UBZ kapena ni chani mashopu yake. Enzeko ya. Akaunda wenzo kamba ngani ya makuponi. Achiruwa kuponi gana isirinda. Kuisiriza kuno kwino mundu sasa weza hata zikana kuponi. Angene ZCBC. Boma ya bwino ngako ya chiruwa. Enari ya bwino ngako. Nalomba wananimetu ungali ya turungala bwino kwa mbili na chiruwa. Yozi mandemba alipali posa asakawa kuti mchokea hapa mwende kunyumba kwanu mtuwape zota mlamu agua tomato ni ngani ya chiruwa ilipali posa emba kwenze ma TV ya jamene ya michongo ya kanaya chosako kabulesako plasma mundu wabuno kwa mbili ndibwenza kufunuko chitira aba HH posa tipo ukangana kangana yae sembewa na shaina maningi sembewa pita faa wamba problemu twafusako ndoze anakafusa kule achiruwa kula ngao tembe ngasako onani mene tankaria mlo Zambia titi bwino kwa mbili bati wondo gwerapo bachinja vintu hai ikweko kutike kwa saibaro vandu akambaka obanda zile kwa makamba pala sitake mwafurata kuvotere di food amena jafuti muvala pakama kutusa kambakamba kuti mwafuneso futi leo chetu kuvotere no chendi kalepo ngana achiruwa alipali pose Zambia yose pandemba yaliko mashopu tiziendera bwino maningi mundu enzo bwino ngako ZCBC anaisiriza
Zigo mabana taamikira. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Buno mwaka bwanji.
Tauka bwino ni bandani batumira kuti.
Ni wa Bentley batumira kuchongwe.
Pitirizani ba Bentley.
Awe naine nyani kirako pali bandani pali ba churuba bamene manachita time mamini tenze vakabonkhala kuvachuva kwenza uguti kugula saladi shuga vendooneka kumayadi basi pamene vanabwabwera polebe tinapota mupezeka kwasamboona kuna mabasa kupezeka ati konze na inda yotaini basi vanabwera leve kabwara inda zaita bwanji zinabwa zatinga chivuka chauti sakuenze yobuta kuti ugule vantu vamitezo nkha mkomboni vantu vamayadi vatengeza kwanika so nyamita maningi pali vachiva pamene anachita ayo sikoma kwambiri nipasiko chansi wanzanga na hivi wakambeko
ya uzikoma. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Remember to always reduce the volume on your TV every time you call a TV station so that we can have smooth communication. Hello, good morning.
Mwabuka shani mkwai.
Mkwai mwashubukeni.
Mkwai. Ni bachiro babali bombe nchito yingi sana. Inechikalambe chonde shako pecho njibukishana nomba nichi. Balengo okutira abantu bakwata amayanda. Bantu amayanda yonsa yali yakanso. abantu balesonkera ku kanso kyaleeta omuseebanyi omuntu nga tasonkere ba kanso poliisi baleesa mu kufuna efipe pansi n'okukoma baakoma so bakirubero bayishire baba president balishire tadikirero kuba tamayanda yonse aya kanso bayashitishe kuma sitting tenants bantu impyashon sesho baposele poshari bwelwa ilo bapos ilo bali.
We didn't even get the name from our beloved caller there, but can actually get to call us back on 0979 958392. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Wow. Seems we can't connect there. Do you have another caller on the line?
Good morning, how are you?
We are very fine, thank you, Mr. Munonge. How are you doing?
Very, very good.
Please give us your memory of FTJ.
People speak good of the dead, and they always look down on those who are still living. They only wait until they die, that's when they praise them. Of course, but the good part I remember of him is courageous. He was courageous. Other people feared to contest against Wakaunda. There's a lot of meat. They know Wakaunda has been there. If you contest against this, might happen. But him, he gathered that courage and contested against Wakaunda and won. Of course, I think only bad thing with regard to is it privatization, where he auctioned, gave away government properties cheaply. He should have used some rightful institution to have sold those houses at a competitive price. That is like politics. Somehow was not used properly, but at least the economy was liberalized and he had that courage. Now other people are talking about, this government is pressing people and not much. But who destroyed UNIP? Who destroyed the Zadeko? And even Vadini Mungomba was beaten and arrested. Okay? And who destroyed the MD? Is it not PF? Okay? But only this government has not bothered to destroy other political.
Oh, we lost him right there. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Yes, good morning.
Yes, your name and where are you calling us from? Please, konkanya nipo.
Watoto mkwa inafayo kuchacha. Watoto ngabe kuchako ndikala. That's 3 houses after ko balekala kundola uto epo ndikala. Ngande yabo balekala po yeje manekano kumete balego mbakwatira kofiko. He was a very good man. He had that spirit of uniting. He brought democracy. He claimed namo bamberesa youth. He claimed namo bamberesa youth. Idio ekyaleesho kuba aturete kyapamo. So I salute the former head of the so to say calculated democracy because that's a lot. Not only that, he also opened up our minds. I am a friend I ain't to want ya. Ya patali. Baada ya mwana kupitisi bakaisha fina buboero. Ya kwa watu namba tulebo mpya. It really move up and down. Ama bata ama yo big yetu ayeta ndama. Ata deta kodomba ukuyendera ukutelefuaiza. This time around you can move wherever you are. It was very difficult. Unataisa mkulunda maya ndolepo kukula and whatever. We opened up our mind. Abantu nomba bamba no kukula we have seen the number of mansions being built because of idea joya kwete nikubantu. Then the only part here itaangu kuishe unasanya
mkulekelesha
yama company ndo yalitakiwa. It was just supposed to add on companies so that yafulirako. That's the only part. Otherwise, remember
0979958392. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
We are very fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Bana JJ,
you are back.
Mamfa?
Natumfa konkanya nipo.
Mkwaye yefonde bebukushako. Kuya kundola debukisha mu 1991. Baishira ba Mwanawasa ba Lupando mwape na baisha shabe mwanda myesu. For the first time we pangesha pangira kumyesu ubushura batatu. Atwaye bakonka. And then he used to come kumyesu ubushkulyonse, and then bagaza aba president baisa lwasa kabelenga bale tubaba Matthew Mulanda tamukusenda na batatabuzo kukwata dina na bele lako kabelenga Roge. And then chindi chikozo nde batotera ko abatata abayitsunye kwatita tuishofu twalike ebuno sana bachibalaba batabaisa balwala ifo twayepokele fyakulya every morning motoka yaisa fyakulya breakfast everything banganda batanga balwala bazenda batu Matthew Mulanda bakopa belt minister kwatwa kwisa South Africa kulya bakatamu batabaishefwa bachiwaisa bashika kansenshi bashika bwino ba Matthew Mulanda bonse bajabenkiwa Godfrey Myanda oko bali but echo ndebe bukusha kushwa tatabayisa mpashi wawale mtushe mchibote. Otherwise he was a very good man to us.
Thank you so much Bana Jeje.
Ma
thank you twatoltera mkwa. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts as well as your memory of FTJ. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Mwaka bwanja saka.
Tauka bwino ka mwaka bwanja.
Tauka bwino.
Jabandani batubira kuti.
Ni Lungu ali repeta uke.
Mr. Lungu, go ahead and give us your memory of FTJ.
Wanga chiruwa wanatipu musambambiri maningi mlaisa mene tupitamo monga kutoka mu time ya chiruwa wanakwanisa that time panja kukamba kuti aliyense akazikuisa paliponse aliyense akaziziendera. So after tatenga inapeza kuti muntu aliyense anakhala free and noziendera buno bwino Zambia nkhayo masuka anabwera mwana wasa wanaikonkapo anabwera barupia wanaikonkapo kuti wanabwera wasata wanaikonka baitiga lungu wanaikonka wanabwa wakamata Zambia mtiza mkarekesha nation. That's why nowadays because ya kuti bantu like make kitamu kutoka tulipotoka tafuta lomba bana yatima baba maningi because you want anagera kisha nation ya chiluwa kisha nation ya chiluwa inabwa ya maswala Zambians nkala kumile zoziendera zozigera zozitaka bali kwa so chiluwa anabwa tanza maningi mu Mzambia kufika lefu tuko mkwambi
Tamikira Lungu all the way from Katete. We really appreciate your thoughts and your contribution. Do we have another caller? But now, Dash, there's so much that has been spoken by people in terms of them getting to share the memories. Others are saying it was a bad idea that council houses especially, were sort of at a very cheap price. Others are saying 10 kwacha, 15 kwacha was the range in terms of how much they were going at. Others saw it as a very good initiative because it allowed many tenants to become landlords, at that particular time.
I do agree with one of the callers who said that we should honor people while they're still alive as well. I mean, like, we are commemorating 15 years, it's the 15th anniversary, but we must also look at the people who are still around us as well. Like, give them their flowers so that it's a twofold thing. It's two sides of the coin. So at least while they're alive and also, when they're no longer with us. But a lot of them were talking about the fact that he was such a phenomenal president. He was humble in the way that he would conduct himself, his demeanor as well, the way he would communicate with some people. One of the callers actually hung out with him. They had the privilege of actually sitting down with him and talking about the fact that he felt that he sold one of the properties at a very cheap price, and instead of 10 kwacha, he should have sold it for at least 100,000. So it's all good things that have been coming in from the callers so far.
And I love the fact that in getting to not agree with that particular decision, this caller says he had to leave the country for 20 years at some point because it wasn't just for the idea. It wasn't making sense for him. But my question is, how much was 15 kwacha then? You get it, right?
Because I remember somebody actually mentioned that during that time, it should have been around 3 kwacha. 3 kwacha, 6 kwacha, somewhere along those lines, if I'm not mistaken.
That was the value of a 15.
No, I mean, like, the kwacha was doing quite well back in the day. Yeah, I mean, it's still doing okay.
Still doing okay, still doing fine.
Well, yeah.
Definitely. So those are the thoughts that should be coming through with on the numbers 0979-958392. We're getting into our inbox and just getting to find out what you've been writing to us on that very number. Remember, we are remembering 15 years of FTJ's legacy as he passed on the 18th of June in the year 2011. What are you going to be remembering him for? Or, what are you going to be remembering about him? pretty much that is what we are getting to discuss. But on top of that, there is also other issues that we were touching base on, those stories that are coming from the newspapers as well as in our news, such as some cadres who have gotten a stern warning from police against unruly behavior that is in Kasama. And also yesterday we did see that government gave its position on the alleged banning of certain musicians from getting to perform or attend government events. We will be getting to look into those even as we're getting ready for the text messages. Let's catch a breather for now. When we come back, the Real Breakfast Show does continue.
It is not government's position, as far as arts are concerned, that we've banned any artist from performing at state functions. That's not true.
Zambia is currently witnessing campaigns from various political parties contesting in the forthcoming general election. And at the core of these campaigns are campaign songs released by various local artists, some in support of the government, while others have taken a different political position. It is because of this development that allegations have emerged suggesting that some local artists, such as Richie Busy, have been banned from performing at government functions due to their political affiliations. But government has dismissed these claims. Addressing the media, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Arts Permanent Secretary Kangwa Chireshe says no directive has been issued to stop any artist from participating in state functions and maintain that government remains open to engaging all artists.
The musicians in question have performed at functions for this ministry. I think you know very well that we had a launch of the Kaputa Stadium, and it's in public domain that they were the headlining artists. Chester, Rich Busy, Mozegeta, and many others were our headlining artists. It's a known fact that Chester performed at the Quimbo Music Festival under the Ministry of Arts. It's a known fact that Chester, Rich Busy, Mozegeta, and others performed at the launch of the Monze football stadium. And this was just about a month ago.
Mr. Chireshe, however, says artists should understand that individual organizers may take independent choices when selecting performers, which should not be mistaken for government policy.
We have not segregated, discriminated, ostracized any artist for whatever form of fashion, whether it's political, whether it's spiritual, whether it's whatever we want to call it. We haven't done it. We haven't banned anyone. Okay, that's one position.
Meanwhile, Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana has urged members of the public to be cautious of misinformation and disinformation during the campaign period.
There will be a lot of misinformation and a lot of disinformation. Now, the difference is that the one that misinforms does so without knowing, but believing that the information they are giving out or spreading is true. But when it is not true, they are misinforming the public. But the one that disinforms knows from the word go, and the intention is to mislead the public. The intention is to cause harm. The intention is to raise alarm. And you will see a lot of such postings, especially on social media, from our colleagues on the other side.
Reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka, Chanda Mwango.
Debate was acrimonious. That's the kind of debate I understand myself. If it wasn't acrimonious, then it was just a put-up job. It had to be acrimonious because ideas had to be allowed to flow against and for. For and against. And so this debate, in fact, is the real mother of Levi Mwanawasa. If it ever never came, what we are seeing today would never have been there. And today the political scenario is, and I think I don't want to call myself a political chess master, but I think I am pretty happy that this ever took place, because then the people of Zambia debated and they saw sense. They had a lot of trash as well, political trash as well. But it's part of the process. The only debate I know is one where ideas are not the same, is one where even emotions are generated. And when there is generation of emotion, I think you are at the core of debate. Because then, one will say, you are just a fool. And I'm not, you are. And they are trying to find out exactly which way to go, how to go about it. And if they are not careful, they may even fight physically. They fight not only in Zambia or Africa, everywhere in the world.
Welcome back. You are still on the Royal Breakfast Show on Crown Television. Now, Dash, did I tell you that rumor has it? I don't know if this is true, but somebody told me that because he was a very well-spoken man, Dr. Frederick Titus Chiluba also had a thing of getting to create words, Bemba words, but Englishize them a little bit, and you could actually get away with them because they sounded like, yeah, it's actually an English word.
Like which one?
Like Chisansamucation.
What is Chisansamucation?
I am told
what's
that.
So
Chisansamucation is pretty much happiness. Like Uksansamucation. Now Sansamukaba Chisansamucation.
I'm so gonna use that. I feel some sort of Chisansamucation right
Definitely. That's the rumor that I heard. I don't know how true it is, but somebody told me that he actually made a word like that, and people were like, yeah, it's Chisansamucation. It became like, it sounded like a normal original English word.
I think him and Critic the rapper, they would be good friends if he was still around, because Critic also has a tendency of creating names like Chanceopportunity, Opportunity. So yeah, Chancification. Yeah.
Chisansamucation. Yeah, and I know that it's a very well sansamucated day today. But we want to find out how you have been expressing yourselves in the inbox right about now via the messages that you've been sending to the number 0979 958392. The mood that we're going to be seeing in the text messages will actually determine either you are sansamucated this morning or not. But yes, let's get into our inbox. Remember that you can send us a text message on the number 0979 958392. Do not shy away from writing a comment to us on this particular broadcast live on Facebook, as we are actually streaming right about now. It's Crown TV Zambia. Our first message reads, good morning, Crown TV diggers, the TV that educates, informs the nation. Let the president forgive Gary, suffered under UPND. He went to jail defending the party. I know you can forgive him the way I know you. This is Major from Livingstone, the Smoke that Thunders, Shunguna Mtitiba. There is a whole hub of farmers. Chicago, where you find elephants. Wow. And Livuyu precisely. Thank you so much, Major One. We really appreciate your writing to us this morning.
Please be safe out there in case there's an elephant that is trotting around. This one says, workers at Luangwa Council have arrears for more than 5 months, but nothing is happening. But Petuke with 3 has been sorted out. Why? Doesn't mean that Luangwa is nothing to them. We also need money, please. We are suffering here. Ooh, that is not something that you want to hear. And by we, who are you? Because there's no name attached to this message.
Be sure that you indicate what your name is, as well as where you're watching the program from, such as the Elvis Mondoloka, who writes to us from Chirundu Boulder. And he says, good morning, Raw Breakfast Show. I'm happy to hear from M'membe. Don't vote for 3 criminals. They will come and finish the country. So the best candidate is HH to continue. Mr. President, 2026, you have my vote. That's according to Elvis Mondologa.
Morning Crown, Western Province, let's be mindful how we're going to vote. Last election, we were promised Sesheke, Mongu Road, University, where they done. And again, why are we cheated in and out? Mike, are musicians government workers who can't support a party? Westerners also need apology, and Zambians at larger for not reducing the prices of foodstuffs, not only apologizing to the party. Yours now, Wamina Wamupu Kwabulozi.
Thank you so much for that particular text message. This one says, good morning, panel. To my side, it's good to see M'membe in court with Madame Dolika. Mr. M'membe, you are too much talkative. You are Mr. Arik, always, so you don't see the change in UPND. Guys, where are we together in Zambia? Please. That's Robert Longwe of Lusaka West. His name is Musimuko. Thank you so much, Robert, for writing to us.
all the way in the west. This one says, good morning, Mike and Queen Mataka. Good analysis. We're here for you. The president, our missionary, is busy working, going around with a full-fledged message of hope for everyone to hear and assimilate. Our democracy has also allowed others to freely market their promises. You can hear their message for yourselves. Very soon they'll get tired and retire as Eagle One sings the song of victory. God bless our day. Samuel in Lusaka. Yesterday, RK actually called again for the second time this year. It was very nice. Very nice.
I can imagine how the feeling was. I know that you were very sensitive, obviously, getting to hear. You're always looking forward to hearing his voice.
It was a opportunity. Opportunity.
Definitely. 0979958392. We're accommodating your text messages for now. Good morning. My name is Ace Shepard from Nola. Today's paper, Kuyabewele, where this government has put good effort to stabilize the kwacha, paying of retirees, free education, peace and freedom, open of mines, Mulungushi Textile reopened, 45,000 teachers, 30,000 health workers, 10,000 metric tons of maize. Wakule Cafe, voice of the voiceless. Thank you so much for writing to us this morning.
FTJ was a good man, but he hated KK with a passion, such that instead of building on what KK left, he destroyed everything, including exposing presidency security. There's no name attached to this one, but we are looking at some of the text messages that are coming through in our inbox.
I remember FTJ for privatization and declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation. He was very courageous and challenged KK in the elections. He also said was a successful politician for bringing in Levi Mwanawasa, who won the elections in 2001. This is according to MK of Chongwe East. Thank you so much, MK. We really appreciate your text message this morning.
15 years on, and we're looking at the legacy of FTJ Chiluba. And we are currently looking at the text messages that have been coming through into our inbox. This one says, Royal Crown TV, okay, Zambians, you're very good in praising the dead than a living. You're busy saying FTJ was good and HH is destroying other parties. Are you sure you were in Zambia at the time of FT? My fellow countrymen, let us be real. This is Elvis from Chirundu. I think it's the second time that Elvis is texting us.
Exactly. It's Elvis Mundologa right there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Elvis. We once more appreciate you for writing to us on 0979 958392. 0979 958392. We see if we do have other text messages too. This one says, I remember FTJ Chiruba for locking up KK in Mukobeko maximum prison on Christmas Day. That was Christianity and democracy at the best. No name to this particular one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. It's like
indeed.
People want to be anonymous today, but we want to know who's texting us and also where you are texting us from. And like we said, we're going through some of the messages that have been coming through into our inbox. This one says, morning team, President Chiluba brought enough transport in this country. Everyone or everybody is now driving. Secondly, he helped people to own houses by selling houses to sitting tenants. A lot of people became destitute after leaving employment, and some even died from depression. This is Evans from Lusaka. But which part of Lusaka, Evans? We want to follow you. Maybe take a picture.
Thank you so much, Evans. Obviously, as we're waiting for that particular time to get a picture with you, we move on to the next one. It says, FTJ Chiruba, we have built houses, transport, goods in shops, no shortage. Pellet of Mungwi. Thank you so much, Pellet. We really appreciate your text message this morning. So good to know that Mungwi is actually watching the Raw Breakfast Show.
This one says, good morning, Crown TV. The time FTJ Chiluba came into power, I was in grade 1. But I really feel change in our country. He introduced freedom of speech, which has been shrinking in the last 4 years. And when we experienced famine in the country, he came up with the plans of buying GMO maize to ensure that his people feed their families. He was so disciplined that he even ordered judges to jail his own son, Castro Chiluba. That's how I remember him. May his soul rest in peace. Kingsley Mutale from Livingston, the home of the mighty Victoria Falls.
Lovely. It's good to hear from you, Kingsley Mutale, and it's good to know that the Choice Capital is watching. Good morning, crowd. I knew Chiluba in the early 70s when he was ZCTU chair, and we used to beers at Edinburgh Hotel, Kitwe. He was a smart guy. I greatly remember him for multi-party democracy. Fighting KK wasn't easy. I salute him for that. This is coming through from Matongo, GS of Choma.
I think he actually called because he was the same person who mentioned that they had a drink or two together. Chiluba, one, ended dictatorship and partisanism.
One partisan.
One partisan. Number 2, stabilized transport before traveling was hell. Number 3, made people homeowners. And then number 4, changed economic system. Twalumba M'membe in Senanga.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, M'membe Twalumba, really, for your text message. Dash and Mr. Mike, it's the joke of the year by the Tonse Alliance pronouncement by the Tonse Alliance, which says HH stands no chance and is going in August. With the most merits or promises and projects already laid down, UPND and Zambia has already reached the promised land, Canaan, the land of milk and honey. If you can't beat them, join them. From Dr. Ngoma, aka the ear to the ground and the publicity and information general of the RBS from Kawe. I haven't heard from Mr. Kamasongo.
Yeah, Nikudala. We missed our father.
Thank you so much for writing to us, Mr. Ngoma.
Good morning, Mike Ndashi. A good team don't powder each A joke of the week. Surely Dr. M'membe is highly educated in the whole world, as he puts it in the newspaper. Wonderful. It's a good one for HH to say he is a missionary who came to serve Zambians. Hence, isn't on the government payroll. He stands a good chance to be elected on the 13th of August 2026. Senior citizen Iteji Teji. Again, good morning, Crown TV panel. What stands out in memory is the hour has come and vendor's desk at State House. Senior citizen Iteji Teji once more.
The hour has come was that was the MMD slogan, Pankoloko, that's what they used to call it. Good morning, RBS. Changing the government isn't a problem. Let the current government continue with the development it has come with. Let them continue. We want the development. See the bumper harvest. That word is she, right?
Yeah.
Was it supposed to be see? See how foreign investors have gained trust in the country. See how the national reserves have been fattened. Justina Namukonda from the gated town of Luansha, the only town with a curfew. It's good to hear from you, Justina. Really appreciate you for your text message. 0979958392. That is the number, but that is how it looks like. Dash, interesting remarks coming through there on how people are remembering the late second Republican president, but also even on other issues, especially to do with Dr. Fred M'membe. And one did ask, are musicians government workers for them to not...
They were asking you because it was like specifically Mike. Mike, tell us.
No, from what I know, obviously, musicians are people that exist freely, unlike civil servants. They're not into civil service. So a musician is somebody that capitalizes on the talent that they have, which is in this particular instance to make music, create music for the sole purpose of entertaining, educating, or communicating anything that they want to have a social commentary on. So pretty much, depending on what genre that particular artist takes, they do exist as those. Now, music is a business, obviously. After getting to discover what is involved in the production of music, it was so discovered that it's actually a very lucrative business that you can earn a living and a very decent living out of. So musicians, these business entities that sell their service of entertaining, they're mostly booked for gigs, events, either by the private sector or the government sector. Theirs is just to deliver once they're booked according to expectations of their clients, really. So they do not have what should I call it, an allegiance to anybody. Allegiance in that particular manner ends the time that business has ended. You get it, right? It's a direct transaction. You want a service from me, you give me money, I deliver, we are done, I'm on to the next one. That is how they exist. So pretty much to say that musicians are supposed to be cornered in a box of getting to side with the government, not really. But remember that musicians also exist as human beings away from them being musicians. So in their individual capacity as a citizen, just like any other, they have the right to belong to any political party that they wish to. So they can be affiliated to a political party of their choice because it's a democratic right. But as the art itself, that will have to be a personal decision that you make. Are you going to be a political musician that whatever you're going to be doing is just political and for this political party or for multiple political parties? If that is how you want your business or your brand to be recognized as, then I think they do have they do have the power to do that and decide that.
Okay, words of wisdom from Mr. Mike Sakala. There's a reason why he talks like that, because he's got Z Chats on Mondays and Wednesdays, and of course the top 10 countdown, which is on Friday. But the reason why I'm wearing this is because Portugal was playing last night against DR Congo. And you might have watched that match because thank goodness it was at 19 hours. Some of these matches have been shown at awkward hours, at ungodly hours, such as 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And this particular one was where Portugal was going against DR Congo. And of course, it ended up being 1-1. I'm not saying, of course, because it wasn't a straightforward result, but we do know that the Portuguese were favorites going into this match. Of course, Ruben Neves opened up the scoreline as early as the 6th minute. But then later on, before the end of the first half, a lovely cross which met Wissa, who of course played for Crystal Palace before he had actually left. He managed to score the goal, and we know him because he looks like Pompey. Pompey actually posted on his page. He's like, yeah, no, make sure that you watch the match. It's showing at 16:40, but obviously that was just a joke on the side. But it was an enthralling match, end-to-end football from start to finish, and the Congolese really brought the game to Portugal. And this is the very first goal that Congo is scoring in their first ever appearance in the World Cup. Of course, people were quite disappointed that Ronaldo wasn't really being fed that many balls to him, but it kind of looked like Portugal weren't at their very best, having the fact that Roberto Martinez might actually be leaving at the end of the World Cup when the World Cup is done, because his contract is set to be expiring soon. But other matches that were being played was England, who were taking on the likes of Panama, and that match was also quite interesting. It was one of the matches that were being kicked off in it wasn't Panama. It was played at questionable hours. They played later on in the day. They actually ended up beating their opponents 4-2. Ghana was playing at 1 o'clock, and they were actually playing against Panama, and they managed to scoop up the victory in stoppage time, winning by 1-0. So it looks like most of the African countries are really brought to the pub. That's Antoine Semenyo, who had actually won the player of the match, or man of the match rather. Of course, he's representing Manchester City, one of the very first Ghanaian players to actually feature for a Manchester City side. So he had a fantastic game, and of course he had allegiance to England, but instead he did choose to represent Ghana instead. And what a player this man is. Plays in the front line, on the wings, and he managed to scoop himself the player of the match. And of course England was playing against Paraguay. This match ended up being 4-2. A lot of controversy because one of their left backs had actually been told to go back because of an injury. So Thomas Tuchel had to now bring in another player, and that is none other than Chalobah of West Ham, who had actually been called, and people thought that maybe Trent Alexander-Arnold would have been the better fit, but he didn't particularly have a good campaign under Real Madrid because majority of the season he actually found himself on the bench. So this match ended up being 4-2, where Harry Kane registered 2 goals to his name. Jude Bellingham also getting onto the score sheet, and Marcus Rashford as well getting onto the score sheet, scoring in the 85th minute. Oh, Croatia, my bad. Croatia. Kind of looks like Paraguay. Yes, so Marcus Rashford had actually managed to register his name on the score sheets as well. He's not going to be spending another season at Barcelona. They did have an option to buy him, but it looks like he's actually going back to Manchester United under a new management in Michael Carrick. Other matches that were also being played yesterday saw the likes of Uzbekistan, who were taking on the likes of Colombia. And that one ended up being a victory for Colombia. And they were playing at 4 o'clock this morning. And Luis Diaz getting onto the score sheets. That's just the team actually celebrating and just feeling jubilated, getting off to the mark pretty well. And it looks like a majority of the teams have played their first round of fixtures, where we see some more teams who are going to be playing later on today. And it looks like it's going to be the second round of fixtures. Remember, it's not the traditional 32 teams that are performing at the World Cup. It has now been bumped up to 48 teams. Hence, from 48 teams, it's going to be cut down to 32, because it's going to be the round of 32, round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and of course the final that is going to be seeing which nation is going to be crowned the world champions. And quite interesting enough, Mike, as well, I don't know if you're a Messi fan or a Ronaldo fan, but if everything plans out well, then it could be the first time ever that Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi might meet each other at the quarterfinals. So it's going to be fun. I hope you get yourself an Argentinian jersey so that we can wear it on the same day.
I'm hoping so, but also I just wanted to I wanted to ask you a question. I did hear the jubilation that was going around the streets yesterday, the moment that Wisa scored the equalizing game, and everybody else was happy that Congo did manage to equalize. But all this was in the spirit of us being African. Were you among the people that were not happy with the results yesterday, that the game came out 1-1?
Yeah, I actually wanted Congo to win, because it's their very first World Cup.
But the t-shirt that you're putting on tells a different story.
I just like the color. It goes with my eyes, okay?
No, I mean, I was just wondering, was she supporting the other guys and not the Africans?
I know who was supporting Congo, though. Mr. Kozi, that's his team.
Definitely. You expect him to be, everywhere, just chanting those particular. But I think the game against England and is it Croatia? That one was a very, very tough one, considering the fact that I didn't pretty much get to watch it, but I was just looking at the lineup. This is a full squad of the Hurricanes, obviously the Bellingham, the Jude Bellingham, the Rashfords. I was like, I was feeling like I'm watching Premier League or the other leagues that these guys have been participating in, and you just know how solid they are really and how just good they are with the ball. So it was inevitable that England came out with those particular scores. It was something that, it wasn't really surprising, obviously, to have. In fact, maybe they could have even done better in terms of amassing goals. But yeah, kudos.
You feel like the scoreline should have been more? Should have been like 6-2 or something?
Yeah, 6 or 7. There was a game that ended 7.
It was Germany. Against Curacao. That's also Mr. Kozi's team. So the nation of 150,000 inhabitants on an island.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But that's how it looks like in the world of football. We are going to be getting it to a short break. When we come back, today is Throwback Thursday. And so in that particular spirit, we just want to throw back to a few years of the lives of the people that we've gotten to celebrate in the spaces of public figures, obviously, our public figures, how you know them now and how they were looking like a few years ago. Seen from the lenses back then, I don't think that we could probably get to see them getting to be where they are. And this is all just in the spirit of getting to appreciate them, getting to appreciate how inspiring it is to see them transition from where at some point in life they were, and just to show how much hard work really can pay, consistency, as well as all of these particular principles that get to matter for somebody to achieve certain successes in life. So we'll be getting to show you a few pictures of a few celebrities when we come back from this particular break as our Throwback Thursday for today.
Numerous cases of people falling asleep have been reported across the African continent. No one can explain this phenomenon.
With 24/7 FIFA World Cup coverage, sleep can wait. Everything can wait.
Catch all 104 matches from as little as 255 kwacha, only on DSTV.
Hello viewers, I am Esther Abrahams Daka, your presenter for Alangizi. Alangizi ni program ya mene imayangana pa banja, zachikondi, zamchikwati, intambi or cultural values.
Zapyangulula. Paja pamene bapika, na uja mwana nkala afanika nkala pamene pajanga twapika derera azibe mopikira derera. Azibe mopikira lumanda. Azibe ndiyo zonse.
Ankala interest.
Ndabakainge kupenda kuchikwata zapika bwanji.
Each one of them ngandine tate nifuna ti bana banga bachita accept mukazi uja. I should show it to my children and they will accept this. The mothers were that lady should also play well for them to accept it.
And I'm here to inform you that Alangizi has gone on recess, but we will be right back in September. So for me, see you in September.
Welcome back. We are in the dying minutes of the Raw Breakfast Show for today, and this far we have come, and we're getting into our throwback trends for the day. Now, I'm going to be showing you some pictures of people that you have, come across in this particular journey of life, people that you've been inspired by their story of life, obviously, and we just want to show you how it were and how it all began. Dash, take us through this particular one.
So this is Brigadier General Mwizukanji Namwawa, and she is a prominent Zambian military official. This is her when she was, way younger, and very nice hairstyle. She's a legal practitioner, women's rights advocate, and former musician. She's widely recognized for a former stage name, which was Kanji, and she has successfully transitioned from a major pop music career into one of the highest legal and military ranks in the country. But she was promoted to the prestigious rank of Brigadier General in the Zambia Army in January of this year. Previously, she made history as the very first female and youngest full colonel in the Zambia Defense Forces, and she serves as the Director of Legal Services for the Zambia Army. She earned the Bachelor of Law from the University of Zambia, and she also holds a postgraduate diploma in legislative drafting from ZIALE and a Master of Laws in Constitutional and Administrative Law. So those are just some of the major achievements that she's achieved. So I'm sure when she looks at this picture, she's like, wow, I wonder what little me would think.
Or she wonders what the dreams were back in the days. But definitely we are so very much inspired by her journey, obviously, having had graced the music industry at some point and now serving in that particular portfolio. We can only say congratulations and keep soaring high and keep on being an inspiration to the young girl that is growing up today, that everything is possible and they can attain whatever it is that they put their mind to. So we're really much inspired by your journey. Now, these particular pictures that this picture that you are seeing has got faces that are so very much familiar. I can see three faces that I can, relate there. There's those are the Kaira brothers, in case you never knew. There is Marky 2 in that particular picture. Spot him if you can. There is Shafi 187 in this particular picture. There is also Penjani Kaira in this picture. If you look closely, you will see that there is a gentleman behind the old man there. Now, Marky 2, whose real names are Mark Mulaza Kaira, is one of Zambia's most successful hip-hop artists. He's a singer as well as a producer. He was born on the 10th of October 1984 in Zambia, and he became famous through songs such as I Am the President, Number One Fan, Mama Rebecca featuring Washimalama, and A Beautiful Night, where he featured the late great AKA of South Africa. He also gained continental recognition after finishing third in the 9th season of Big Brother Africa. He has won multiple Zambian Music Awards. He is the founder of the Maktuhope Foundation that supports vulnerable children. He has been releasing albums very popular, such as The Legendary. He has an album called The Zero to Hero, Ghetto President, and Olijaba. And Jaba now is an entertainment label that he owns, which features artists such as Frank Rowe, plus other guys as well that are working with him. Now, in the recent years, Makitu has focused more on television production. If you follow him through, there was a reality show of King Boga that was showing on Zambezi Magic. He's a philanthropy now and public affairs. Reports have indicated that he is now contesting for the Nchanga constituency seat, as he has gone political. On the other hand, Shefi 187 is known as Kondwani Christopher Kaira, who is also a celebrated Zambian rapper known for his lyrical skill, punchlines, and storytelling. He was born on the 23rd of May in 1986 and is Makitu's younger brother, and is widely regarded as one of Zambia's top hip-hop artists. Trust me, if not the only, but one of, I know that there's pretty much quite a number of them. His stage name means he cooks and serves great music, while 187 symbolizes killing, like 187 for murder, right?
Yeah,
it's a code for murder. So chef, if music is food to the soul, then he is the chef serving it. That's how he gets to call himself in the way he explains his music. He recently dropped Shadowboxing. Look it up. It's a very, very tough jam that is making rounds everywhere on social media. It's a very, very beautiful one. After 2 years of not releasing a single or even an album for his fans, now at least they do have an appetizer as they are waiting for the bigger meal, just like he promises. Nchiri muchikini, but it's about to turn into a fidi mukwikiri. That's about Shefi 187. The show is wrapping up. What about now, Dash? What's been the major highlight as we are getting to say our bye-byes?
Just looking back on our former president, our second Republican president of Zambia, FTJ, and the legacy that is left behind, and also sort of just paving the way for the future generations to come.
To all of you that have been a part of this particular episode of the Royal Breakfast Show, the production team in the background, you, the viewers that called in and sent us text messages, we really appreciate you. We thank you so very much. Do sure to catch us again tomorrow on Friday as we get to wrap up the week, or the Friday edition of the Royal Breakfast Show with the team right here. On behalf of Dash and everybody else involved in today's production, my name is Mike Sakala, and tomorrow is bye for now and stay safe.